Welcome, this is Joshua Benoist in Autodesk Product Support. We're on video 13 where we're talking about beveled takeoffs and how they look different between 2008 and newer versions. Um, Here's a quick problem statement. Pause the video if you need to read that. Let's move on. Okay, so where we left off, we were just getting ready to add modifiers. So we right-click on modifier and say Add Path. Down at the bottom here it says Select Path Geometry. So I'm going to select this guy right here, and it says Select Start Profile. I'm just going to grab any one of these lines up here, and in Profile, I can choose this again, or I can say Enter, and there, it extruded a rectangle on that path there. If we switch to a profile, Southwest profile here, you can see I now have a three-dimensional object there. That's really our first shape. And then let's go back to top view. And we're going to add some more geometry. We want to go from rectangular to round now. So let's go to modifiers, add path, select path geometry. We're going to follow this path this time. Select start profile here. Select in profile here. And it doesn't quite look right, does it? So maybe this isn't the right choice here. We may need to get a little more complicated with Content Builder, but when we try to transition from a rectangular to a round, it follows this path, but it keeps the profile perpendicular here. So let's go and kind of look at what that looks like here. See that? Maybe we can get it from this side. There you go. Go back to top view. Okay, so let's undo that and delete it. And I know ultimately what I need to do to get this to work, but I want to show you guys some other options and things that you can explore on your own. So let's try an extrusion instead. Select profile. So it talks about from and to. So this extrusion one works between work planes. Remember, we created a work plane right here, this XY plane. And ultimately, I think that may be what we have to do. But now we're going to have to create these work planes. So let's back out just a little bit here. And we want a work plane that goes in this direction and cuts through this point here. And we're going to want another work plane in this direction that equals this distance, hence the reason I made this line, and cuts through this point right there. And we're going to draw a rectangular profile and a round profile on them. So these other work planes here, that's the YZ work plane, and that's really the one we want. But I want that plane to be at this point right here. And that's part of the reason we made an origin point here. It allows us to do a lot of things. So I'm going to say add work plane. Okay, so this gets kind of fun. We said add work plane, and we're going to say reference. And I'm going to call this one a YZ origin. And I'm putting in origin just because it's going to reference the reference point origin thing that we have there. Select modifier. Well, this extrusion is a modifier, so I'm choosing that. Select work plane. I want the YZ work plane, so I want it to be parallel with that, basically. Select reference work plane. I'm going to choose this endpoint right here, our origin point. So it created that right there. If we click on YZ origin, notice, if I zoom in here real close, see this yellow line?